Hello Mavericks and welcome to today's currency recap. It is Thursday, April 18th. All right, so today, as always, we will be doing a review of the trading day. We'll be going over any meaningful news from the day. We'll also be looking at the broader equity markets and some key commodities as well. And we're going to be taking a look at the major stock market index, the S&P 500. And then we're going to wrap things up by looking at some potential trade setups and opportunities in the currency markets. Let's get to it. In this currency recap, we will be using some advanced technical analysis. We believe technical analysis is the fundamental skill of every profitable Forex and crypto trader. Maverick Currencies is currently hiring serious technical traders for a trader position. Traders will trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of the profits. If you are a technical trader with a technically based trading system, we want to meet you. Click the application link in the description below this video. Now let's break down today's market action. Market analysis. All right, so today, stocks have continued to trend lower, and as far as fundamental news events go, we had US unemployment claims, and they came in slightly under expectation. So what's going on here is the market's waking up to the very real possibility that we are not going to get those much vaunted and promised rate cuts. And we're seeing some repricing of the stock market as a result, and this is fueling a little bit of a risk-off shift. So we can see stocks slightly underwater today. Crypto, however, had a good rebound. Gold slightly up and oil down nearly 1%. If we're looking at our currencies, then we can see that the US dollar and the Canadian dollar were the leaders of the day. Pound slightly above water as well. Our biggest loser of the day was the euro, followed by the Aussie, Kiwi, and the yen. The Swissy more or less flat. Taking a look at our crypto markets, basically, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin leading the way, then ETH, and then finally Litecoin. Now our market outlook, I have it here as like a -2.5. So if we look at this chart of the S&P 500, we can see that the 20-period moving average's slope has started to curl downwards, and the 50-period moving average is still neutral, right? So I'd say another day of selling or so, and we might get that -3. So we've been saying for a while now that the market is going to change. It's just going to take time, and well, here we are. Now, as far as news events go, Friday morning, early morning, we're going to have retail sales come out of the UK, and that's pretty much it. Moving on now to some currency analysis. Our velocity score is fairly tame today. There just hasn't been that big of a move anywhere in the currency market. There hasn't been that much really important economic news that's come out of the woodwork, so to speak, and that might explain the slightly more muted session that we've had today. The Canadian dollar, however, looking very upbeat. Now let's go over to some possible trades as we head over into TradingView. So the yen, on this daily time frame, we can see here we're below the 50-period moving average, and we're trading sideways in what could very well be further downside continuation. I'd be looking for a break below the support line here. It's kind of a green light to then drop on down to lower time frames to look for some continuation trades. Taking a look at the US dollar, we did meet my next objective in the US dollar. I'm now neutral. I do think the odds of further upside are very high, however, so I'm fairly neutral right now. I don't have any long dollar positions, but I am looking to get back into the dollar long. I think any dollar weakness is going to be counter trend ultimately. Okay, so the Swissy has fallen into support and gotten very close now to that 50-period moving average and this prior resistance zone right here. So I'm looking now for some weakness in the Swissy. Let's see if the Swiss franc is going to roll over. The euro, I'm very neutral on because we're basically stuck between support and resistance. So the resistance is that pink box there, and then we can see that we have the 50-period moving average a little bit below. So I'm not interested in the euro really until we break out of resistance or down below support. The pound, very similar story, stuck between resistance and support in a tight range. Not a great trading environment for the pound. All right, Canadian dollar is interesting. It's a currency which I am very constructive on. I'm expecting significant Canadian dollar weakness here in the relatively short term, but this action so far, at least over the last several days, has been fairly bullish. So we'll have to wait and see. I don't see a good setup to go short the Canadian dollar just yet, but it is a setup that I'm looking for. If you're bullish the Canadian dollar, however, then you can trade it back probably. I'd be looking for upside targets if I was bullish for the loonie to go back to where we were at the beginning of the month. Next up, we have the Aussie dollar, which has met its head and shoulders target to the upside. And I now think we're going to trade back all the way down to where we were near the first week of February. So quite a bit more downside in the Aussie dollar. And it's very similar in the Kiwi dollar, except in the Kiwi dollar, I think there's a good chance we revisit the lows from end of October 2023. Well, all right, traders. So that wraps things up for us for the time being. In conclusion, always important to play relative strength and weakness. Doing so is going to keep you out of those trades that just go nowhere. And of course, make sure you always pay attention to proper position sizing and you follow your trading plan. All right, traders, that's it for me for the time being. Look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.